Welcome to Cafe Racer Garage, and if you're building one of the early model Viragos, no matter what stage of the build you're at or you're thinking about building one, and it currently sounds like this when you start it. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it, and man, has it made a massive difference. So, let's get into it. Don't forget to save this video in your watch later list, so at least you know exactly where it is when you need it. So what I'm actually doing here is removing the rotor, or flywheel if you like, out of the donor engine that was gifted to me by my friend Charlie, because it's in a way better condition than the one that was originally in the bike. So this was probably the hardest part to obtain, because this is one of those parts that Yamaha have actually stopped making, so you have to find a used one or buy an entire engine. So what I'm doing is actually replacing some of the components and putting a solenoid in place. What this does is, instead of relying on the centrifugal force of that gear to be thrown out and then brought back again, what it's actually doing is using the solenoid to push that gear out and pull it back again when you press the start button. So what that does is stops the grinding of the gears. So I've mentioned this trick in the past, but I'd normally get a piece of cardboard, draw the outline, and then push all the bolts in exactly where they are. They are slightly different lengths, so rather than playing that guessing game, it's always good to do that. But this time around, I'm going to use the spare cover that I have and put all the bolts in exactly where they're meant to go. Once I get this modification complete, I'm going to be taking the bike out for a spin, which is awesome because now I can mount my phone to the handlebars. I've been using these quad lock systems for years. I absolutely love them. So please support the companies that support me and keep these videos coming, and grab yourself a 10% discount in the process. So taking this flywheel rotor out of the second engine, I learnt a valuable lesson which made it a lot easier and saved me having to look for all those little parts, which I'll explain in a second when I get it out. If you can grip this gear well enough with your fingers, you can hang on to it as you're pulling it out, and therefore the springs and everything won't fall out. When you're realigning it, you just get a screwdriver on this scissor gear, also making sure the little dot on this here lines up with the keyway and also that little side hole. The first thing you need to check if you're going to do this modification is to make sure that you have this little hole here. This little hole here is what locates the actual fork. This is the fork here. The thread side goes out and the solid side goes in, and it's what sits in that little hole here and pushes the gear out. So without that little hole, you can't do this modification, unfortunately. Some blocks do and some blocks don't have it. The other block that I have actually doesn't have the hole, and I'll show you that now. So the washer and this gear here, you won't actually need to order. You'll already have those in your engine. But these two parts here you'll need to get, and the shaft will be original. I'll leave a list of all the parts that you need to get, but these two parts are slightly different. This one here is the original one, and this one here is slightly different, as you can see. So disregard this one and order yourself these guys here. As you can see, this one is completely chewed out. If yours looks anything like this, just make sure you replace it. Just remember when you're putting all these back together that you have to line it all up correctly for the timing to be right, and this is something that you'll find in your workshop manual. So all of the parts that I'm using on this bike are OEM. They're either used or they're brand new from CMSNL. That's where I get all my gear from. I highly recommend them because you know 100% they're going to be OEM and they're going to fit up perfectly. Something that I've just learned and I wanted to pass on to you, this here is the XV750 original parts, and as you can see there's a spring, and this little spline piece here is slightly different to the XV1000. As you can see, the splines are a little bit straighter on this one and they're just slightly different. So you can't use them together. You have to buy these as a set. So you could potentially use this, you could take this clip out and you could potentially use this in the engine as it is, but you may as well just get the XV1000 parts, this and the corresponding gear that goes on this. That's what I would recommend, but you can see the top of this is slightly different. So the retaining spring is no longer needed. They've updated the part, and the retaining spring, if you were to put it onto this one, wouldn't work anyway. It would just slide straight over the top, so it doesn't actually retain. So they've made that update, which means they've changed the spline so that the spring is no longer needed. So just to let you know that, because that was something that I was trying to scratch my head about just before, and I was kind of figured out that you don't need the spring anymore because of this part. So now that everything's in place, let's put a fresh new gasket in, put the cover back on, tip the bike back up on its wheels, and then start the wiring, and then we can turn the key and see if this thing kicks over. I love that feeling of getting a gasket and having it lining up perfectly. Actuator arm sits that way, and it pretty much just goes straight in there like that. Then you put this guy here, looks like a little bobbin, and that goes in there like that, and now you understand why there's a thread on that fork, top of that fork hole.
Before I show you what the starter system sounds like, I thought I'd get this bike out and about, take you guys along with me, because this is the last time I'll actually get to ride it before I do all the modifications. It is running a little bit rough, and that's to be expected considering this thing has been sitting around for a while and I don't usually ride it too often. Anyhow, enough messing around. Let's get it back to the garage so I can start working on that front end.
I had a few small issues trying to start the bike initially, and I removed this footage from the video, but then I put it back again. Well, it hasn't actually kicked over yet, which I'll sort out in a second, but it actually is probably a good thing because you can hear the actual starter system and the solenoid doing what it's doing. Sounds amazing, like so much better than what it was before. So now that the starter system is fixed on this bike and I'm really happy with the end result, it's time to put this bike build into high gear and get the front end on. I've got some really big plans for this bike, which I'm really excited about to share with you. I also have a garage expansion because I've got some new machinery that's just turned up. I'm going to do a bit of a garage rearrange and try and fit everything in so I can get a better flow happening of building bikes. And if you want to see more videos like this, I made a playlist and I'll leave it right here. I just had a delivery, but you can't guess where it's from.